What if everything you've been waiting for is finally breaking through the silence right now in this very moment? What if the delay wasn't denial, but divine positioning? And what if the answer you've been crying out for is walking toward you, not as a whisper, but as a towering presence you can't ignore? Chosen one, listen closely. There's movement in your story. Someone is on the way. And this isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is divine intervention, wrapped in flesh and blood. A tall man is approaching your life, and his arrival marks the end of one season and the explosive beginning of another. The universe never sends a warning without reason. And right now, it's sending you him, not to comfort your chaos, but to confirm what you've been feeling deep in your gut. Your breakthrough is no longer coming. It's here. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange pull in your spirit, that pressure in your chest that wakes you at 3 a.m., that sudden awareness that something is shifting beneath the surface of your life. That's not anxiety, beloved. That's alignment. That's the atmosphere changing because heaven has decided your waiting is over. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." They tried to break you. They mocked your silence. They walked away thinking you were finished. But what they didn't see was the universe pulling back the slingshot. What they didn't know was that every delay was divine strategy. And now the tall man, this towering symbol of your next level, is stepping into your story to prove that God's timing doesn't explain itself. It just shows up. This man isn't here to rescue you. You were never weak. You were in recovery, being refined, being repositioned. He's here as a mirror, not a crutch. He reflects back the strength you've been building in silence. He confirms what you already knew, but stopped believing you are ready. You are chosen, and your season has shifted. Before we go deeper, I want to pause and say this from my heart. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating. You're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here, your support, your time, your attention. It all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and drop a 777 in the comments right now. That number carries divine energy, signaling to the universe that you're ready to receive what's been assigned to you. Chosen one. This is not the time to scroll. This is not the time to doubt. You didn't land on this message by accident. You were pulled here. Heaven orchestrated this moment because what I'm about to reveal isn't just information, it's confirmation. The tall man is already moving. His steps are echoing, and when he arrives, everything will make sense. The pain, the silence, the closed doors, all of it was preparation for this. So stay locked in. Stay present. Because what comes next isn't just a shift. It's the moment the universe stops playing nice and starts delivering what you were built to carry. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Can you feel him yet? Can you sense the weight of his steps before they even reach your door? What if I told you that the tall man walking toward you right now isn't a stranger at all, but the physical manifestation of everything you've been silently becoming. Chosen one, let me be crystal clear. The tall man is not just a person. He's a signal. He's the universe's way of saying, you're ready now. Everything you endured, everything you survived, everything you rebuilt in the dark, it wasn't wasted. It was preparation. His presence isn't accidental. It's ordained. He doesn't arrive to save you because you were never the one who needed saving. You were the one being sharpened, tempered, refined in the fire, so that when this moment came, you wouldn't flinch, you wouldn't shrink, you would recognize him. This man stands tall, not just in body, but in energy, in authority, in divine timing. His height is symbolic. It represents the elevation you've been climbing toward without even realizing it. While they tried to reduce you to nothing, while they mocked your silence and questioned your strength, the universe was building something inside you that now demands a witness. And he is that witness. He arrives not with fanfare or flattery, but with confirmation. His words won't sound revolutionary because they're not new. They're echoes. Echoes of the calling you've carried in your bones since the beginning. Echoes of the whisper you heard when no one else believed you. Echoes of the truth you stopped speaking out loud because the world wasn't ready to hear it. But now he speaks it back to you, and suddenly everything clicks. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven." This is your season, beloved. This is your time. Not because you begged for it, but because you became it. The tall man doesn't force change. He doesn't push you into something you're not ready for. He activates what's already there. Think of him as the match that meets gasoline. You've been saturated in purpose, dripping with potential, soaked in divine preparation. And now he shows up, and suddenly everything ignites. The dormant wakes, the buried rises, the forgotten becomes undeniable. Let me take you deeper. Think about Joseph, sold into slavery by his own blood, betrayed, falsely accused, thrown into a prison cell where no one knew his name. He didn't just survive, he was being positioned. Every betrayal was a step. Every injustice was a setup. And when Pharaoh finally called for him, Joseph didn't walk into that palace as a victim. He walked in as a ruler. The tall man in Joseph's story wasn't a person. It was the moment. The moment when everything that tried to bury him became the foundation for his throne. That's what's happening to you right now. The tall man walking toward you is your moment wrapped in flesh. Your breakthrough disguised as a person. Your destiny clothed in confirmation. But here's what most people miss. The tall man doesn't come to hand you a trophy. He comes to hand you a mirror. When he looks at you, you'll see yourself differently. Not broken, not barely surviving, not stuck in the story they told about you. You'll see strength. You'll see resilience. You'll see someone who refused to die in the dark and instead chose to bloom in it. His presence doesn't add anything to you. It reveals what was already there. And that revelation, that's the shift. That's the turning point. That's the moment you stop asking, when will my life change, and start realizing it already has. This isn't about romance. This isn't about rescue. This is about recognition. The universe is sending someone whose energy matches your evolution, whose presence confirms your readiness, whose arrival signals that the old chapter is officially closed. You're not the same person you were 6 months ago. You're not carrying the same weight. You're not speaking the same language. You've outgrown the version of yourself that needed permission, that waited for validation, that questioned if you were worthy. And now, the tall man shows up to prove it. Feel that stirring in your chest right now. That pressure building behind your ribs. That's not fear. That's activation. Something inside you is waking up, stretching, rising. The part of you that's been dormant, waiting, watching, holding its breath, it's alive again, and it's ready. The tall man doesn't bring that energy. He simply confirms it's time to release it. So when he stands before you, don't shrink. Don't second guess. Don't apologize for the power you've been carrying in silence. Look him in the eye and realize he's not here to elevate you. He's here to show you that you've already risen. Drop a 777 in the comments if you feel this shift happening inside you right now. Because what's coming next isn't just theory. It's the blueprint, the keys, the hidden truth about why this moment was always meant for you. But here's the part they don't tell you. The tall man doesn't arrive with instructions written on his forehead. He brings something more dangerous than clarity. He brings disruption. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the message hidden in the chaos. So stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see every interruption that's been happening in your life. Do you know what it feels like to climb stairs in complete darkness, every step uncertain, every breath heavy, your legs burning, your heart pounding, wondering if you're even going the right direction? You can't see the top. You can't see how far you've come. All you know is that stopping isn't an option. So you keep climbing. One step, then another, and just when you think you can't take one more, just when your body is about to give out, you reach a landing. The air changes, the pressure lifts, and standing there waiting for you is the tall man. Chosen one, that's where you are right now. You've been climbing through the darkest valley of your life, and you didn't even realize you were ascending. Every betrayal was a step. Every loss was elevation. Every tear you cried in secret was washing away the version of you that couldn't carry what's coming. And now, right now, you're standing at the landing. The tall man isn't pulling you up. He's confirming that you already made it. This is not chance. This is divine preparation. This is the moment you've been screaming for in your prayers, the moment you stopped believing would ever come. But it's here, and it has your name carved into it. Let me take you back. Think about Joseph, 17 years old, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery like he was nothing. Thrown into a pit, stripped of his coat, his identity, his dignity. He didn't just lose his family, he lost his future. Or so it seemed. Because what they didn't know, what even Joseph didn't fully understand, was that the pit wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Every betrayal positioned him. Every injustice refined him. Every prison cell prepared him. And when Pharaoh finally called his name, Joseph didn't walk into that palace begging for mercy. He walked in wearing authority he didn't even know he had. The tall man in Joseph's story wasn't a person. It was the moment when everything clicked. When all the suffering, all the waiting, all the silent nights finally made sense. That's you right now, beloved. You've been in your own Egypt. You've been sold out, overlooked, underestimated. People who should have protected you walked away. Opportunities that should have been yours went to someone else. You've cried yourself to sleep, asking God, why me? What did I do to deserve this? And heaven stayed silent. Not because God abandoned you, but because he was too busy building you, refining you, preparing you for a weight most people will never be asked to carry. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." You've been walking through that valley, chosen one, and God's been with you every single step, even when you couldn't feel him, even when you thought you were alone. He was there, shaping you, molding you, turning your pain into power. And now the tall man arrives, not to save you because you were never weak, not to rescue you because you already survived. He arrives to reflect what you've become. When you look at him, you're going to see your own strength staring back at you. You're going to see the version of yourself that refused to quit, that chose faith over fear, that stood tall, even when the world tried to break you. His presence is the universe's way of saying, look at you. Look at what you've become. You're not the same person who started this journey. You're ready now. But let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Transformation isn't pretty. It's not gentle. It's not a soft whisper telling you everything's going to be okay. Transformation is violent. It rips away what's comfortable. It burns what's familiar. It forces you to let go of the version of yourself that no longer fits the calling. Think about Esther, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin, living in a foreign land under a king who could kill her with a single word. She wasn't chosen because she was the most beautiful or the most qualified. She was chosen because she was willing to step into a moment that terrified her, willing to risk everything for a purpose bigger than herself. And when she walked into that throne room uninvited, she didn't walk in as a victim. She walked in as a queen. That's what the tall man represents in your life. He's not here to coddle you. He's here to activate the queen, the king, the warrior that's been sleeping inside you. He's here to remind you that you weren't abandoned. You were being refined. Every closed door wasn't rejection. It was redirection. Every person who walked away wasn't loss. It was protection. God was clearing the path, removing the distractions, making room for what was always meant to be yours. And now that path is clear. Now the timing is perfect. Now the tall man stands before you, not as a stranger, but as a confirmation. Feel that weight lifting off your shoulders right now. That heaviness you've been carrying for months, maybe years, it's breaking. Because this message isn't just information, it's activation. Something inside you is shifting. Something dormant is waking up. Something buried is rising to the surface. You're not the same person you were when you clicked on this video. You're not the same person you were yesterday. You're transforming in real time, and the tall man is the witness to it. He's the mirror showing you what heaven has been building in secret. But here's the truth that will set you free. The tall man doesn't come to give you breakthrough. He comes to confirm that breakthrough is already happening. Your prayers weren't ignored. They were being answered behind the scenes. Your tears weren't wasted. They were watering the seeds of your destiny. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was preparation. And now, right now, everything you've been waiting for is colliding with everything you've become. This is your moment. This is your season. This is the landing you've been climbing toward in the dark. So, let the tall man show up. Let his presence remind you that you are not forgotten. Let his arrival confirm that your time is now. You weren't abandoned. You were being prepared. And now that preparation is complete. Now the doors are opening. Now the blessings are flowing. Now the universe is responding to the version of you that refused to quit. Drop a 7777 in the comments if you believe it's your time to receive what was always meant for you. Because what's coming next isn't just a message, it's a blueprint. The exact steps you need to take to meet the tall man where he stands. And trust me, chosen one, you don't want to miss this. But before you can fully step into this moment, there's something you need to understand. The tall man doesn't arrive in a vacuum. He comes with keys, hidden truths, sacred instructions that most people overlook because they're too busy looking for the miracle instead of the message. So, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will unlock doors you didn't even know existed. Let me ask you something that's going to sting a little. You say you're ready. You say you've been waiting. You say you want this breakthrough, this shift, this divine appointment. But when the tall man finally stands at your door, will you actually open it? Or will you peek through the curtain, heart pounding, paralyzed by the same fear that's been holding you hostage for years? Because here's the brutal truth, chosen one. Most people don't miss their blessing because it never came. They miss it because when it finally arrived, they weren't actually ready to receive it. You've been praying for change, crying out for alignment, begging God to move in your life. And now, the universe is responding. The tall man is on his way. The doors are creaking open. The atmosphere is shifting. But the question isn't whether it's coming. The question is, are you prepared? Not prepared in theory. Not prepared in your prayers. Prepared in your energy. Prepared in your mind. prepared in the way you've been living, moving, and clearing space for what you say you want. Because here's what no one tells you. The universe doesn't wait until you feel 100% ready. It moves when you're aligned. And alignment isn't about perfection. It's about positioning. It's about making room. It's about letting go of the dead weight you've been dragging behind you like a ball and chain. The tall man isn't coming to a cluttered house. He's coming to a cleared path. And if your life is still crowded with old attachments, toxic cycles, and unhealed wounds, how do you expect him to even find the door? Think about it. You've been waiting at the station for years. You've watched trains come and go. You've seen other people board while you stayed on the platform wondering when your turn would come. But here's the real question. Have you cleared the path for the train? Or are you still standing there with suitcases full of past disappointments, pockets heavy with resentment, and your hands gripping relationships that died 2 seasons ago? The universe can't deliver to a full address. You have to create the space first. Matthew 7:7 says, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Ken, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you." But notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say the door will stay open forever. It doesn't say the train will wait while you sort through your emotional baggage. It says knock. It says seek. It says take action. And action, beloved, requires preparation. It requires you to stop living like a victim of circumstance and start moving like someone who knows their season has shifted. Let me take you to Ruth, a widow, a foreigner, a woman with nothing but heartbreak and uncertainty. She could have stayed bitter. She could have stayed stuck, but instead, she made a decision. She aligned herself with purpose. She followed Naomi into unknown territory. And when Boaz, her tall man, her divine appointment, appeared in that field, she didn't hesitate. She didn't shrink. She didn't second guess. She was ready. Not because her life was perfect, but because she had already done the inner work. She had already chosen faith over fear. She had already positioned herself in the right field at the right time. And when the moment came, she didn't miss it. That's the difference between those who receive and those who regret. Ruth didn't wait for certainty. She moved in obedience. She cleared the clutter of her past and stepped into the unknown with nothing but trust. And because of that, her story didn't just change, it became legendary. Her name is written in the lineage of Jesus Christ himself. That's what happens when you stop waiting to feel ready and start being ready. But let's get real. What's stopping you? What are you still holding on to that's blocking your blessing? Is it the relationship that's been dead for months, but you keep trying to revive? Is it the grudge you're nursing, like it's going to heal you? Is it the old version of yourself that you refuse to bury because letting go feels too final? Chosen. 1. You can't carry your future while you're clinging to your past. One hand has to let go so the other can receive. And if both hands are full of yesterday's pain, how do you expect to catch tomorrow's promise? The tall man is not coming to a mess. He's coming to someone who's made the decision to rise. He's not arriving to fix you. He's arriving to confirm you. But confirmation only comes to those who've already started the transformation. You can't pray for a new life while you're still sleeping in the old one. You can't ask for elevation while you're still entertaining people who pull you down. The universe is watching your actions, not your words. And right now, it's asking, do your actions match your prayers? This is your test, beloved, not a test of strength, not a test of faith, a test of readiness. Can you sit in silence and admit the truth that you've been holding yourself back, that you've been waiting for permission when God already gave you the green light, that you've been scared of success just as much as failure, because deep down, you're terrified of what will happen if this actually works out? Let me tell you what happens. You step into the version of yourself that was always meant to exist. You stop apologizing for your power. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop questioning if you deserve it, because the tall man's arrival is proof that you already do. But none of that happens if you're not willing to clear the path. None of that happens if you keep living like you're still waiting when the moment is already here. So I'm asking you again, are you ready? Not in theory, not in hope, right now. Are you ready to let go of what's been weighing you down? Are you ready to step into the discomfort of growth? Are you ready to stop performing readiness and start being it? Because the tall man doesn't knock twice. He doesn't wait around while you sort through your excuses. His presence is the universe's way of saying, the door is open, now move. And if you're not positioned to walk through it, someone else will. That's not a threat. That's just how divine timing works. It doesn't wait for the hesitant. It rewards the obedient. Drop a 777 in the comments if you've created space for what's coming. If you've let go of what no longer serves you. If you're standing at the station with clear hands and an open heart. Because what comes next isn't just about meeting the tall man. It's about proving you can handle what he represents. But here's where it gets even deeper. Even if you think you're ready, even if you've cleared the clutter and made the space, there's one more thing you need to understand. The tall man won't look the way you expect. He won't sound the way you rehearsed. And if you're too busy looking for what you imagined, you'll walk right past what you were actually meant to receive. So, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter every expectation you've been holding on to. Can you feel it? That rumble beneath your feet, that electricity in the air, that weight pressing against your chest, like something massive is about to break through. Chosen one, this isn't anxiety. This is arrival. This is the moment everything has been building toward. The waiting is over. The preparation is complete. The tall man isn't coming anymore, he's here. And with him comes the undeniable truth you've been too afraid to fully believe. Your destiny was never delayed. It was being perfected. Let me be brutally honest with you. You were never forgotten. Not for a second. Not in the silence. Not in the betrayal. Not in the nights you cried yourself to sleep, wondering if God even remembered your name. Every tear was counted. Every prayer was heard. Every moment of doubt was part of the divine design to forge you into someone who could carry what's about to be handed to you. The tall man's arrival isn't a reward for your suffering. It's proof that your suffering had purpose. He stands before you now as the living, breathing confirmation that you didn't just survive the fire. You were refined in it. This is your Red Sea moment, beloved. Do you remember Moses? A man who spent 40 years in the wilderness, thinking he was forgotten, thinking his purpose had died in the desert sand. Then God showed up in a burning bush and said, "Now it's time." Moses didn't feel ready. He stuttered. He questioned. He doubted. But God didn't ask if he was ready. He declared that he was. And when Moses stood at the edge of that impossible sea with an army behind him and terror in front of him, he lifted his staff and the waters split. Not because Moses was powerful, but because his obedience activated what God had already ordained. That's you right now, chosen one. You're standing at your Red Sea. The tall man is your burning bush. And the moment you step forward in faith, everything that tried to drown you will become the very path you walk through into freedom. Think about David, a shepherd boy so overlooked that even his own father forgot to call him when the prophet came looking for a king. But God didn't see a forgotten child. He saw a giant slayer. When Goliath stood 9 feet tall, mocking the armies of Israel, everyone else saw death. David saw destiny. He didn't need armor. He didn't need approval. He needed 5 smooth stones and the audacity to believe that what God said about him was truer than what the world screamed at him. 1 stone, 1 shot, 1 moment, and the giant fell. The tall man walking toward you right now is your stone, your confirmation, your divine ammunition. He's here to remind you that the giants in your life, fear, doubt, lack, betrayal, they're already defeated. You just have to step onto the battlefield and claim the victory that's been yours all along. Revelation 5:10 declares, "You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on the earth." Read that again slowly. You will reign, not survive, not scrape by, not barely make it. You will reign. The tall man's presence is the universe crowning you not with a trophy, but with authority. He doesn't come to add value to your life. He comes to reveal that you've been royalty walking in rags, power disguised as pain, a king or queen dressed in wilderness clothes. But the wilderness season is over. The rags are being stripped away. And what's left? What's left is someone who doesn't flinch at opposition because they've already walked through hell and came out glowing. This is your moment, chosen one. The seed that was buried in darkness is breaking through the soil. The tree God always intended you to be is finally visible. You're not becoming something new. You're revealing what was always there. The tall man doesn't plant the seed. He waters what you've already been growing in silence. His energy, his timing, his arrival. It all confirms one undeniable truth. You are ready. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you've learned to trust the process, even when you couldn't see the outcome. So, what do you do now? You step You move. You claim. You stop apologizing for the power you carry. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop waiting for permission from people who will never understand your calling. The tall man isn't here to hold your hand. He's here to walk beside you as you step into the throne room God has been preparing since before you were born. This isn't a fairy tale. This is prophecy manifesting in real time. And you, beloved, are the protagonist in a story so powerful that hell itself has been trying to edit you out of it. But you're still here. You're still standing. And now the tall man arrives to prove that your story isn't ending. It's exploding into its most glorious chapter yet. Drop a 7777 in the comments right now if you're ready to claim your divine purpose. If you're ready to stop waiting and start reigning. If you're ready to walk boldly into the destiny that's been chasing you down this entire time. Because chosen one, this is it. This is your turning point. The tall man is here. Your breakthrough is here. Your throne is here. And heaven is watching to see if you'll finally step into it. You've walked through the fire, and now it's time to step into the fullness of what God has called you to be. The tall man is here to confirm it. You are ready. But as you step into this new phase, there is one thing you must do. Prepare your heart. This moment is not just about receiving. It's about surrendering to the shift and embracing everything that is coming next. Let's dive deeper into how you can align yourself with what God has already planned. The wait is over. The shift is complete. Now, reign. Take a breath, chosen one. Just breathe. Let everything settle for a moment. Let the weight of what you've just heard sink into your spirit, not just your mind. You didn't stumble onto this message by chance. You weren't scrolling aimlessly when this video appeared. Heaven orchestrated this moment. God positioned you here right now, in this exact second, because there's something He needed you to hear, something you needed to feel. And now that you have the question, isn't whether it's real. The question is, what are you going to do with it? The tall man isn't just a symbol. He's a confirmation. He's the universe's way of saying, I see you. I've always seen you. And everything you've been through, every tear, every betrayal, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, it was all leading you here. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. And now, the preparation is complete. The waiting is over. The shift has arrived. And you, beloved, you are standing at the threshold of your destiny. But here's what most people don't understand. Destiny isn't something you wait for. It's something you step into. It's not a gift that falls from the sky while you sit passively hoping for change. It's a door that swings open when you finally stop asking for permission and start walking in the authority you've always carried. The tall man confirmed it. The scriptures declared it. And now your spirit knows it. So the only thing left is for you to move. You see, this message wasn't just for you to consume. It was for you to carry. God didn't bring you this far just so you could nod your head, feel inspired for 10 minutes, and go back to the same patterns that kept you stuck. No. He brought you here to wake you up, to shake you out of complacency, to light a fire in your soul that refuses to be extinguished. And once that fire is lit, you have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but to everyone who's still sitting in the darkness you just walked out of. There's someone in your life right now who needs to hear this. Someone who's been questioning if their pain had purpose. Someone who's been wondering if God forgot them. Someone who's one more disappointment away from giving up. And you are the messenger they've been praying for. You are the tall man in their story. So don't just receive this blessing and keep it to yourself. Share it. Pass it forward. Lead the way for someone else who's still walking through their wilderness season. The Bible says it clearly. Revelation 5:10 reminds us, "You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on the earth." You're not just called to reign, you're called to serve, to lift as you climb, to turn around and extend your hand to the person still struggling behind you. That's what real power looks like, not hoarding the blessing but multiplying it. Not celebrating alone, but bringing others into the celebration with you. So before you close this video, before you move on with your day, I want you to do 3 things. First, drop a 777 in the comments, not as a superstition, not as a ritual, but as a declaration. A declaration that you're aligning with God's timing, that you're stepping into your destiny, that you're ready to receive what's been assigned to you. Second, share this message. Send it to someone who needs it. Post it where others can find it. Let this be the ripple that starts a wave. And third, take a moment right now to thank God, not for what's coming, but for what He's already done. Thank Him for the strength that carried you through. Thank Him for the silence that taught you to hear His voice. Thank Him for the tall man, the confirmation, the mirror, the signal that proved you were never forgotten. You didn't get here by accident, beloved. God placed you in this moment for a reason. The tall man was the confirmation you've been waiting for. And now it's time to walk. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with the boldness of someone who knows their name is written in the book of life. Your destiny is unfolding. Your season is shifting. And heaven is watching to see if you'll finally believe what it's been declaring over you all along. It's not too late. It was never too late. The door is open. The path is clear. The tall man has arrived. And you chosen one, you are ready. Now step into it. And when you do turn around and bring someone with you, because that's what kingdom builders do. They don't just reign, they raise others to reign beside them. Go in peace, go in power, go in purpose. And remember, you were chosen for this moment. Don't waste it. Amen.